What's up, y'all? We got another classic Legends roster. I apologize for that first post. It was jacked up. But this is Mark Aguirre. Mark Aguirre's game was not jacked up. I took the 27-year-old version, 1986-87 season, 25.7 points a game, 35% from three-point range, 49% from the field, 5.3 rebounds, 3.2 assists, 1.1 steals. He's known for his quick release. He's also the answer to the hint. He was a number one overall pick in the 1981 draft after starring at DePaul. Aguirre is like one of the, he's like an absolute, there's a term called an endomorph. Endomorph is like a guy, and this has always been my understanding of it. I'm looking back up to make sure I'm right. But endomorph is like a guy who may not look like he's that athletic because might be a little fleshy or whatever. Charles Barkley's another one. But they have an explosion that you don't expect. Now, Aguirre was not a fantastic athlete, but he was really a lot quicker than people might have thought. Known for his quick release, just absolute dynamite scorer. He averaged over 20 points a game in, 6 straight seasons. Averaged as many as 29 and a half when he was 24 years old. He actually shot 52% from the field that year, but his three-point percentage was pretty low. So I kind of went with this particular version because, I mean, it was still a dynamite year, and I thought, the way 2K rates you, if you have a good three-point percentage, it would probably be better. Now, I'm going to do a video a little bit later on today, too, and it's going to be talking about, I've actually got a chance to reevaluate some of the ratings, and I know a lot of y'all that was barking about ratings will probably be happy to hear this. But I reevaluated the ratings for the point guards, shooting guards, and small forward. It looks as though I was shortchanging people in a few categories. In lateral quickness, because I started to look at like the lateral quickness ratings for some of the guys. And here you take a look at Aguirre's ratings. We'll look at the badges in a minute. But I started to look at the lateral quickness, the actual speed and quickness, which for the most part I had that right. But the lateral quickness, the hands, and the ball control and some of the passing ratings were, I wasn't giving them high enough ratings, basically. And it's already resulted in some upgrades for some of the bigger players. And I'm happy about it because I was able to go back and look at it. Every time somebody makes a suggestion, whether or not I respond or not to the comments, I usually take it into consideration as long as it's sensible or something. Sometimes people say stuff, I'm like, okay, dog. See, there's the 16 badges for Aguirre. But, yeah, I was able to look at it, but I don't feel as though it compromised my overall concept. I'm still not jacking people up. Like, Kobe's still not going to get a 97 because he was not a 97 based off stats. I'll make up for the reputation of Kobe with the badges, but the prime Kobe's not going to be a 97 or anything like that. So the shooting percentage is just too low. The 45%, I couldn't give him that. So that's that. So we're going to move on to the next guy, and this is Rip Hamilton. Now, obviously, what you miss here is being able to have a headband, which is why I was happy to find a picture where he didn't have the headband on yet. This is pretty young Rip, which is actually a little bit younger than the version that I used, because the version that I used was Rip Hamilton the year he averaged 20.1 points a game, which was 05-06. He was 27 years old, shot 46% from three-point range, which was phenomenal. 49% from the field overall, 84% from the free throw line, 3.2 rebounds, 3.4 assists. Hamilton was this was the first of 3 straight All-Star appearances that he had in his career, the only 3 All-Star appearances he had. But he's known for being a outstanding mid-range shooter because early in his career, he didn't really shoot the 3 that great. It was kind of, but that particular season seemed like the year that he really, truly expanded his range in a major way. He did go up and down a little bit back like in the 09-10 season, which he was injured a lot. He had only shot 30% from three-point range. But for the most part, that was the turning point for him as a three-point shooter. And so I thought that made it, the best year to grab for him. But Rip was kind of an interesting dude to rate because he's not a extremely explosive athlete. Wasn't really explosive, but he was quick, and he was also really good at running through screens, and he was very slight in the body. So I couldn't give him, of course, the strength ratings. But one thing that I always say people have to remember is these ratings are for that particular season. So it's not like this is not their rating for their entire career. Because if I was rating Rip for his entire career, he probably would have got a lower rating than this. I would have probably gave him like an 81 or 82. That's what I'm guessing based off of what I think the numbers would have came to. But this was his prime premier season. So in that season, is right up there with some of the better guys who played a game similar to him. Because if you look at like the Reggie Miller that I took, his rating was like at the time, which you'll see the recap that I did, was maybe a little bit lower. So I had to change Rip's age. I had the age wrong here. So, but like I said, you'll see the revamped version. But Miller didn't shoot as good from three-point range by percentage, even though Reggie shot more threes. But by percentage, Hamilton shot a better percentage. So it is what it is. But I'm looking forward to showing you guys. That's going to be actually my next video, some of the re-rated guys. But this is supposed to be Baron Davis. There's a couple problems with this particular Baron Davis. The primary issue is the complexion. He's a guy that's kind of stuck in between two complexions. The second part of it is the beard. Now, this picture was the best picture to get his facial features, but this particular season, which is the year he boomed on Andre Kirilenko in the playoffs, that dunk was just sick. But this was also, I believe, the year when they beat the Dallas Mavericks, upset the Mavericks in the first round of the playoffs. It might have been. I can't remember off the top of my head. But the season that I took was it was when he was 27 as well. The 06-07 Golden State Warriors season, 20.1 points, 2.1 steals, which led the league, 8.1 assists, 4.4 rebounds. He shot only 44% from the field, but that was the highest field goal percentage he ever had in his career. Only shot 30% from three. Now, I hooked Baron Davis up when it came to the dribbles and with the athleticism stuff and the hops. I mean, Baron Davis is one of the more impressive athletes when you consider size and speed and hops that you've ever really seen play the point guard position. I would say probably top 10, top 11 most athletic point guards when you factor in all that size, speed, and leaping ability and strength too. Throw that in there. Yeah, so that's why you see he got so many badges. 34 badges. What I try to do with the badges, and I reiterate this because I know a lot of people, some of you guys who've been watching my videos or this series from the beginning, you probably might get tired of hearing me say this, and believe me, I get tired of saying it too. But I reiterate it because some people have just jumped in at episode 20, episode 30, or whatever. But essentially what I do is the ratings are based off the stats for that season. The badges are based off of the player's reputation. So if this guy had a reputation, or I've seen YouTube videos of him doing certain things, that's where I try to fill in the gaps with the badges. So that's where, like a guy like Kobe can kill it in badges. A guy like Dwayne Wade can kill it in badges. Reggie Miller, Glenn Rice, those guys that I've already made can kill it in badges. So there it is. It's time for me to give you this next clue. Now, this particular guy, he was a first-round pick, went to the New Jersey Nets, but in college, he was a part of a squad it was a group. You know how you had Michigan had the Fab Five? Well, this particular school had something called Lethal Weapon 3. And first-round pick, played majority of his career with the New Jersey Nets. So I'm going to leave it there. It should be pretty easy to figure out from there. Now, while I'm not going to tell you exactly who's coming, I think it's kind of cool to not know necessarily who's on their way. But I will tell you this. I got about 44 more guys to make. So after the 44 guys to make, then from there, I still have to update. Let's see. I got to update how many? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 guys. Update 12 guys. So those are guys that are, I'm not going to make a second version of them. I'm just going to update their ratings. Update 12 guys. And then I have to put the guys on the right teams. Even though you might do a fantasy draft, I think it would be easier for you guys to get it ready-made with the players on the right teams, right? So I appreciate y'all watching. God bless. Peace.